Hello and welcome once again to another training session of Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 brought to you by the Letter Tape. We're going to do things a little differently this time and also it's going to be a three-parter. We're going to touch on some questions that folks continue to have on some of these water park rides, specifically the H20 Bowl Slide here, the Aqua Blast back here, and the Lazy River. These are just introductory tutorials, nothing fancy. But hopefully get folks going. Like I say, this one is going to be specifically on this H20 Bowl Slide here. So this ride is fairly simple. It's in the dark there. Is that the peeps will line up. They'll get on this little raft. They will go down this little slide and then spin and then spin and spin and ultimately drop into a body of water. So the key elements here are really building something very much like a body slide that just leads into this whirlpool thing and then just drops straight down into water. So how I built this is I just went into rides, pool slides and rides, H20 Bowl Slide, and I used a ready-made slide here. So there are different ones you can look at. I just did the most basic, which is vortex. You can change what type of raft is being used, a ring or a mat. I'll go ahead and do a ring for this. And here is the already constructed ride. Now if I tap Z, I can rotate this, and now it's pretty much identical to the other one I had. And there you can see it pretty close to what I had built. Something I want to mention with this, and you can do with other rides, in case you didn't already know, is if you hold the Shift key in and move the mouse forward or back, you can raise or lower this. Now this is going to be instrumental in a couple different reasons. One, and then there you go, if I just release the mouse, you can then move it around and place it where you want. One would be the layout of your park. Maybe it's very mountainy, different elevations, and so for whatever reason you need a really high ride or lower. The reason that I'm bringing it up is that the default height of this thing is, I think, about right there. And if I build that at that height and we come down here, there's very little difference between the actual floor of this and where the peeps drop into the water. Here I've given just a little bit more room by actually lowering this pool complex down lower than normal. You see the normal pool complex height is supposed to be at this level, so I dropped it down a bit lower, actually into the ground, just so that there would be a little more room for them to drop out. So I did that just so it would look better, and also so that as these people are walking underneath, their heads don't poke through. Because actually if you come through this way and look down, it looks like they're walking through this thing, which is probably more of just a bug, or maybe not. There you go, that's where the head pokes through. So that problem was just because I built the ramp there. But if you kept it at this default height, as they're getting up and walk around, they could still probably walk through that. So you want to keep that in mind just for appearance sake. I don't know if there's a maximum height that you can build this from the water. I think there is. If it's too high, then it'll get shut down saying that it's not safe. But raising it might increase the thrill factor, so you'll just have to work that out. But you can either build one of these directly over a pool complex, or a pool I should say, or you can build one over an area and then build the pool under it with rides, swimming pools, and then here I'm just going to hold in the Shift key. You can see the basic area that it needs to be for them to fall into it. So I'm just going to hold in the left button, mouse over to an area, and now I've got a pool of water. So this would be all that I needed for this to work, all I would need then is to connect this section here to a pool complex, as well as this section down here. And you can see how I did that here by I've just got some of these flat sections. You can see how to build these in another tutorial I have. And then there is just a little bridge that goes across and connects to this pool complex. So pool complex 2 is here, pool complex 2 is here. It's all considered one continual pool complex. And then there's just this circular stairway all the way up to some little ramp pieces here for them to get on, and then these are stations. So if you're building your own, the main things you'll need then are these station pieces. And if I close this ride and force everyone to go all the way down, they're going to go down anyway. But anyway, here you've got station pieces. So you'll need a few of those. And then here you've just got normal slopes, normal curves, nothing fancy, until you get to this piece here, and then you've got a bowl right. So if you wanted to get more fancy with this, you've got other options here that you could build. I don't know if they're all available, but if you built some of the other, if you were to place some of the other pre-made H20 Bowl slides, then you'd be able to see some of these other pieces in use. One thing that I will focus on is these covered pieces versus not covered, and that's very simple. Here's one that's not covered. If I wanted that to be covered, I just click on this piece here, even though it looks like it's not available, and then I build that piece, and now it's covered. If I didn't want the next few to be covered, I just deselect, build it, deselect, build it, and you can see these are now not covered. The only problem is the peeps will probably get going fast enough. They'll probably go up here and be inclined to want to slide off of this or have the ride shut down because it's not safe. So I'll just set it back to how it was. Nothing. There's one. There's that. Now it's back. So that's the basics. This needs to just be over a body of water. It could be over this pool. That's fine. Need to have some stations, and it needs to have both ends connected to a pool complex. So hope that helps clear up some questions folks had on that. Enjoy.